Good morning and Tashidalek, everyone. I'm sure you all had a great weekend. Okay, yes. So this is the last week of our live English online teaching through Tibet TV. Okay, yes. So there will be one more session tomorrow. Okay, yes. So that means today is the which is the second last session. Okay, yes. So in this session, now what we are going to do, today and tomorrow, we are going to, discuss about the common errors as you can see on the board. Okay, yes. So when we write something, when the students, they do their writing, either in terms of writing style or in a grammar, so we tend to make some mistakes. There are some errors, the common errors. I'm not just talking about the particular errors, but the general common errors. So in the following session, Gela and I'm going to discuss some of the common errors that we make. Okay, yes, and I hope this session will be very helpful for you. Okay, yes, and moreover, you will also see some of the errors that you make, that we make in our daily lives. Okay, yes. So before I discuss about the common errors, okay, let us first try to recapitulate what we did in the previous week or previous session. Okay, yes. So you remember what were the things that we did in our previous session? And what is the topic? Do you remember or you have forgotten? Okay, yes. So if you remember, we talk about the acquisition of vocabulary. Okay, yes. So we read, and when we read, we come across some difficult words. Now, how do you get the meaning of that difficult word? First, without relying on the dictionary. Of course, the dictionary is there for your help. But, okay, if you have the habit of referring to the dictionary all the time, then if you reflect, you are not trying to develop some skills. Okay, yes. So all the time you won't be, your dictionary may not be here. So during that time, you should acquire, you should have some skills in order to decode the meaning of these difficult words or unfamiliar words. You got it? So that was the thing that we did. And the second one, how to enrich, okay, how to develop, because we all know how important vocabulary plays in our writing or reading or anything. Okay, vocabulary plays very important role. So the more vocabulary you have, more comfortable you feel, either in terms of speaking or in writing. So there's no need for me to tell you all these things because you all know, okay, yes, whether it is Tibetan or Chinese or Hindi, so you got to enhance your vocabulary. Okay, yes. So what I'm saying is, in the previous session, we talked about the acquisition of vocabulary. Okay, yes. So in that session, I told you about the context clue. Okay, yes. Whenever there is a piece of reading, okay, a passage for you to read, if you come across any new words, now there is one skill that you have to do. So that is, you just try to get the meaning of that particular unfamiliar words by reading all the words that are around that word. You got it? So I'm sure you will get some idea, the meaning of that word, because I told you good writers, they always use this context clue. You got it? So whenever, even if you are a writer, okay, yes. Now let us forget about ourselves. Let us talk about the writer. So a writer, whenever he introduces a new words, he will always try to use some context clue. He will give some hint for the readers to understand the meaning of that new word. So that is called context clue. Okay, so you should know this particular term, context clue. Whenever you come across new word, okay, I have to use context clues. The meaning may be hidden somewhere around these words. So that is the skill. Okay, and as far as the dictionary is concerned, you can refer to dictionary anytime, okay? But that is the skill that you have to remember. And in order to enhance, in order to increase your vocabulary, there are different strategies, okay? Yes, you have already learned in all 4 sessions. We talked about the collocation. If you come across a word, you just try to, instead of just learning the definition of that word, you just try to collect all the words that are related to that word, okay? Yes, so that is called collocation. Sometimes these words always come together, so it will be very easy for you to remember those words, okay? Yes, and we also have the prefix and suffix. You have already which we say learn how adding prefix and suffix totally change the meaning of this word, okay? Now that is also related to the vocabulary, okay? Yes, and then we also talk about what should I say, the different other skills, okay, in order to develop what should I say, that vocabulary, okay? Yes, so in our previous session we talked about vocabulary. That's all, and I want you to go through, okay, the videos if you have missed, okay? Yes. Now, as I've told you, today we are going to focus on the common errors, and in the following session, I'll be showing you some of the common errors, and you just try to reflect whether you have ever made such common errors in your own life or not. Okay, yes. So let us have a look at some of the common errors. Okay, yes, yep. So common errors, comma, splice, okay, break. Okay, yes, that is just an example. I'm sleepy, I have to go to work. Okay, yes. So I am sleepy, I have to go. So these two are contradictory. Okay, yes. So instead of using comma, we need one conjunction. Okay, because these two are totally complete sentence. Okay, yes. So correction, how do we correct this particular sentence? I am sleepy, but I have to go to work. Okay, yes. So whenever you make such kind of sentence, okay, I'm sleepy, comma, I have to go work. Okay, yes. Now remember, there is a mistake here. So how do we correct this? By using the conjunction but, because I'm sleepy, I have to go work. These two are contradictory, isn't it? So we use the but. Okay, yes, that is just an example. Now when we talk about the common errors, there are so many common errors. Okay, yes, some of these common errors, as you can see, what are these common errors? First one is run-on sentences. Okay, run-on means by looking at the word you will get some idea. Run-on, you run without any what should I say, pause or without any stop. You keep on running. Okay, and then you will get what is that sentence. Okay, yes, run-on sentence. We are going to do this one by one. Okay, so that is just to give you some bird's eye view of the common errors. Okay, yes. First one is run-on sentences. Second one is parallelism. Okay, parallel, you all are familiar, parallel. These two lines are not parallel. Okay, these two lines are parallel. Okay, yes. So there is one common error. And the third one is sentence fragment. Okay, yes, some of the sentences, they are broken fragment. There is no complete sentence. Okay, we tend to make. Now these are also included in common errors. And last but not the least, we have the modifier. Okay, yes, modifier. The word modifier, what do you get? Okay, modify. The word modifier, you will find one root word, that is modify. What do you mean by modify? Modify means change. Okay, yes. So there are some words which changes, which describe, okay, modifier. For example, which we see, we have got different kind of words, and then these modifier, if they were properly used, it's okay, but sometimes this modifier, there are some mistakes. For example, we have got misplaced modifier. We also have the dangling modifier. Okay, misplaced. That modifier is not properly placed. Okay, dangling modifier. The modifier is dangling. Okay, yes. It does not have any particular verb. Okay, yes. Now these are some of the common errors. So I told you we are going to do all these common errors one by one. Okay, and when I show all these examples and sentences, I want you to reflect whether you have ever made such kind of mistake in your life or not. Okay, in your own writing. Yes. So the first one is run-on sentence. Now let us look at what do you mean by run-on sentence. Run-on sentence is made up of two or more sentences that are incorrectly run together as a single sentence. Okay, yes. So whenever you submit your assignment, a paragraph or essay or diary, and the teachers, they will edit your work. Okay, yes. So sometimes you make mistake. Okay, what is that mistake? That is run-on sentences. Okay, that is one mistake. So run-on sentence, the sentences are running without any stopping. Okay, yes, even if there are two sentences, even if there are two independent sentences, we tend to consider as one single sentence. So this type of error is called run-on sentences error. Okay, yes, run-on sentence is made up of two or more sentences. There are two or more sentences. Actually, there should be some comma or semicolon or some conjunction, but these two sentences are considered as a single sentence. So these type of sentences are called run-on sentence. Okay, yes. For example, there was complete silence around me, I still can't sleep. Okay, yes. So if you look at this sentence, you know that there are two sentences. There are two independent sentences. There was complete silence. Okay, I still can't sleep. Now, if you look at these two sentences, if you look at these, there are two sentences, two independent. Okay, there was complete silence, one full complete sentence, isn't it? I still can't sleep, that is a complete sentence. But, so these two sentences has been considered as one. So this type of mistake, okay, error is called run-on. So you see the two sentences are running on. They are not taking any pause. Okay, that is the common, understanding. Okay, you get some idea, run-on sentence. Okay, yes. So whenever we have such kind of mistake, whenever we make such kind of error, now what are the strategies? Okay, how can we correct it? Okay, the first one is by separating the sentences. First, we know that there are two sentences, so it's important for you to separate the sentence. Okay. The second one is use a conjunction. You know what is the main work of conjunction? The conjunction is to add to, join two sentences. So let the conjunction work. Okay. Yes. And the third one is insert a semicolon. Okay. You can use a semicolon because whenever you use semicolon, the two sentences should be totally independent. Okay, if you use dependent sentence, and then you cannot use semicolon. Okay, yes, semicolon when we use it, if it makes a complete sense. Okay, and last but not the least, we can use a clause by adding some clause, and then we can correct that run-on sentence error. Okay, yes. So in order to understand better, let us try to look at the example. Okay, yes. For example, I walked, she ran. Okay, yes. Now you can clearly see there are two sentences, although it's very short. Okay, we have got subject, predicate, no object. Okay, I walk. Okay, she ran. Okay, yes. So you see two sentences. Do you ever make such kind of mistakes? Sometimes accidentally. Okay, yes. Now here, what is the error? Okay, if the teacher edits your work, the teacher will keep in mind, oh, now this is a perfect example of run-on sentence. Why? These two sentences are running, they are not taking pause. Okay, there is no break in it. So, did you get the meaning of run-on? Okay, yes. So, now we have one run-on sentence case before us. Now, let us try to correct it. How are we going to correct? I told you there are 4 different strategies. Okay, yes. First one, you separate. Okay, yes. I walked, full stop, she ran. Okay, yes. So, that's the correction. And second one, you can use conjunction. There are so many conjunction. When I say conjunction, now here we are just talking about the simple conjunction. You remember fanboys, F-A-N-B-O-Y-S, the conjunction. So we have got, what is the conjunction here? We have but conjunction. So that is the word which joins two sentences. Okay, yes. And you know when to use. You cannot use but all the time. Okay, yes. So if these two sentences contradicts, okay, and then which will say you can use. Okay, yes. So I walked, comma, but she ran. So that's the correct. Okay, yes. So you see, before but, whenever we have got simple conjunction, okay, fanboys, for, or, but, okay, yes, or, yet, all these things, before that word, we have to use the comma. Okay, yes. Now some say there is no need for us to use the comma before that conjunction, but most of the time we use comma. Okay, yes. So I walk, comma, and there is a conjunction, so you have to use comma. Okay, but she ran. So that is the conjunction. This is how we correct. And the third one, you remember semicolon? Okay, yes. I walk, she ran. Okay, yes. So instead of using comma conjunction, you can use semicolon. Okay, yes. So many of us are not familiar with the semicolon. Okay, yes. So even I, which is don't use semicolon much. Okay, yes. But I heard that it's very important for you to use semicolon, because sometimes the people check, okay, they are writing whether you are which is familiar with the usage of semicolon or not. If you check, okay, if you go through all the writing you have done, you just see whether you have used semicolon or not. I'm sure many of us don't use semicolon. Okay, yes. So in order to make your writing better, it's better you use semicolon, at least one semicolon in one paragraph. Okay, so that whoever is reading, whoever is assessing your article or essay or writing, he or she will get some idea. Oh, yes, he knows which is semicolon and comma. Okay, knowledge. So that is very important. So where do we use semicolon? Semicolon we use whenever there is a conjunction. Okay, yes, that fanboy conjunction. Okay, where do we use conjunction? We use conjunction. Okay, yes, then there is a complete sense. Okay, yes. So instead of using comma conjunction, you can replace these two by just using semicolon. Okay, you have already seen this. Okay, yes. For example, okay, I walk, semicolon, she ran. So if you look at the, what should I say, the two sentence, you will see a complete sentence. I walk, that is a complete sentence. Okay, she ran, that's a complete sentence. Oh, so for that you have to use semicolon. Okay, you say semicolon or semicolon. Okay, yes. I walked, comma, but she ran. Instead of comma, but, you can use semicolon. So it's very easy, isn't it? Okay, yes. So make sure that you are going to use semicolon. The more you use, more comfortable you feel. Okay, yes. Now I told you about the clause. Okay, in order to correct that run-on sentence, sometimes we use clause. Okay, yes. So for example, while I walked, she ran. Okay, while. Okay, so that is a clause. While I walked. You got it? Okay. And she ran. So this is how we correct or run on sentences. Okay, yes. So I want you to, what you say, Google it, and then you will come across more example. Okay, so that is the thing. So what you have to keep in mind is, you have to keep in mind what is the meaning of run on sentence. Two sentences going together without any break. Okay, so that is run on. Okay, the second one, okay, parallelism. Okay, yes, parallelism. What is a parallelism? Parallelism means all the words, phrase, and clauses used in sentences must have the same form. Verb must match with verb, noun must match with nouns. Okay, yes. So that is the meaning of parallelism. Okay, yes, parallel. If there is a noun form, you have to write the same noun form. If there is the other form, you have to write the other form. So that is parallelism. Okay, so if I give you an example, it will make it very clear for you. Okay, for example, I have been to Tibet and saw Potala. Okay, yes. So if you, now here we are talking about the verb. I have been. Okay, yes. So that is one form. I saw. Okay, yes, that is the other form. These two forms are not same, isn't it? So whenever you have this kind of mistake, we call it not run-on sentence, we call it mistake related to parallelism. Okay, because the grammar rule says that all the forms should be same. Okay, if you have written I have been to Tibet, instead of so I have seen, okay, the same form should be there. For example, now I have been to Tibet and have seen Potala. Okay, now if you look at that sentence, this form is same, have been, have seen. Okay, so your sentence should be like this. Or if you don't want to write the perfect one, okay, you can write the simple past. Okay, for example, I went to Tibet and saw Potala. Okay, yes. So this way we can correct it. Did you understand? So what you have to keep in mind, your sentence form, verb form, everything should be same. Okay, not like the above one. I have been to Tibet, and in the next sentence, instead of using have been or have seen or like this, you use verb to. Okay, so this is not same. So you have to keep in mind the form. The second one, okay, yes, Tashi loves to read, write, and going out. Okay, again, if you look at the first one, Tashi loves to read. I have used infinitive. Okay, to read, to write, and instead of writing to go out, I have used infinitive ing form. Okay, yes, gerund like this. So Tashi loves to read, write, and going out. Okay, when we say it looks that there isn't any mistake, but that is a mistake. So what kind of mistake? It's related to parallelism. Why? Because the sentence, the verb forms are not same. We are talking about to read and to play and to write and to sing and all this, and suddenly instead of to read and to write, we have got going out, playing out. So that is not same, you can see. Okay, so how do we change that? Either you go with ing form or you continue with infinitive. Okay, to. Okay, for example, Tashi loves to eat, write, and go out. Now you see all the forms are same in one sentence. Or Tashi loves reading, writing, and going out. I'm sure you have made such kind of mistake. I also make such kind of mistake. So we have to be very careful. Okay? Yes. So let us take another example. My friend is nice, intelligent, works very hard. Okay? Yes. So if you look at this, when I begin my sentence, I'm talking about the adjective. My friend is nice, intelligent, okay, smart. Okay, and then all of a sudden I talk about and works very hard. Okay, so you see the form is not same. If I am talking about the adjective, you have to write all the adjective. If I am talking about verb, you have to write verb. You should not mix up. Okay, so that means the form changes. Okay, yes. Now how should that sentence look like? If I am a teacher and if you come up with such kind of sentence, how do I change? I change. Okay, yes. My friend is nice, intelligent, and instead of works very hard, I will try to find the adjective. Okay, my friend is nice, intelligent, and hardworking. If you look at this, all the sentences I am using the same form, that is adjective. Okay, yes. Now if you look at the second, okay, my friend talks nicely, asks intelligently, and works very hard. Now in this sentence, I have started using all the adverbs. You see, so if you are using adverb, make sure you write all the adverb. If you are using adjective, make sure that you write all the adjective. So you should not mix up. So that mistake is called parallelism. So did you understand the meaning of the parallelism? Okay, yes. One more. As we neared the stadium, you could hear the shouting. Okay, yes. As we neared the stadium, obviously you could hear the shouting. If you look at this, it seems that there is no mistake, but there is a mistake. Now in the first sentence, what do you see? As we neared the stadium, you could hear. Where does that you come from? Okay, yes. So if we use and then we have to also use the same form. Okay, so the correct one is as we neared the stadium, we could hear the shouting. Okay, so you see the same form. So these are some of the mistakes related to parallelism. We judge people by their words and what they do. Okay, yes. Now if you look at this sentence, it seems there is no mistake, but there is a mistake. Okay, because there is change in the form. First, we judge people by their words, and in the next, what they do. So it's different. Okay, so how do we change? We judge people by their words and by their action. So we see the word by same. Okay, by their, I'm talking about the noun, by their words, noun, by their action, noun. Okay, what they do, certainly we have got a verb here. So that is wrong. Okay, yes. The second one, either we judge people by what they say and by what they do. So by is optional. Okay, yes, we judge people by what they say, what they do, what they play, what they write. So all these are verb. Okay, so if you want to use verb, you continue using the verb. If you are using the noun, you continue using. You should not mix up. Okay, if you mix up all these things, this is called parallelism. Okay, that is a common error. Okay, yes. And the next one is sentence fragment. Okay, sometimes we don't write the complete sentence. These sentences gets fragmented. Okay, yes. So sentence fragment is when a part of a sentence is fragmented or missing. It does not make a complete sense. For example, I went home, full stop, and ate sampa. Okay, yes, I went home. There are two sentences. I went home, it's okay, and ate sampa. Now, do you see our sentence, what we have to keep in mind, whenever we have sentence, make sure that you have got subject, verb and object. If there is no object, at least okay. At least there should be subject and verb. Now, at sampa, if you look at this, there is no subject here. Okay, the sentence is fragmented. Okay, yes, something is. Now, this type of sentence is called sentence fragment. Okay, yes. Now, let us look at the example. Because I want to improve my English, full stop. Sometimes even I used to make this kind of mistake. So this comes under the sentence fragment. Okay, yes. We have to be very careful when we use dependent words. Now, these are dependent words. Okay, because whenever you start your sentence with because, or although, if, what should I say, while, okay, whoever, whenever we use this word, we have to be very careful because we tend to make mistake. Okay, yes. So, whenever I go to Dharamsala, full stop. Okay, yes, that is wrong. So, sentence is not complete. The sentence has been fragmented. So, that's why whenever we use some kind of dependent word, the word, okay, which has to depend on other. Okay, for example, whenever, when, after. Okay, now this, whenever we use this word, we have to be very careful. Okay, yes. So I want you to look at the example. Okay, yes. Whenever I go to Tsuklakang, or whenever I go to, and then if you put full stop, then that is incomplete. Okay, the sentence is fragmented, it's cut. Okay, because you use the dependent word whenever, okay, there should be another sentence. Okay, yes. So, if you go through this, you will get some idea. After I learned paragraph writing, full stop, I decided to write. Okay, yes. So, you see, again I have used the dependent word. After I learned paragraph, you see the way I read, even when I read, you see I am not complete, I am not done with that. Something is coming. After I learned paragraph, then what? Okay, there should be comma. Okay, yes, indirectly. So, you have put full stop. I decided to write. So, there is a fragment sentence. Okay, that I didn't have any time for games. That I didn't have any. So, there is a fragment sentence. Okay, this is not complete. You have used that. Looking tired and down, she took a nap. Okay, looking tired and down, she took a nap. Okay, that is incomplete. Looking tired and down, there should be comma. Okay, the students are in the class, full stop, hoping to learn. Okay, hoping to learn. So you see that is not complete, something is missing, fragmented. Okay, yes. Thou tried all the sweets and then found one missing. Okay, thou tried all the sweets and then found one missing and then found. Okay, yes, where is the subject? We know that there should be subject, verb, object. Okay, yes. So now these type of sentences is called sentence fragment. Okay, yes. Now the last one, let us talk about modifier. So modify, the word modifier, you can get the meaning. Modifier modifies, changes. Okay, yes. Modify is a word, phrase or clause. It can be word, it can be phrase, it can be clause. Now you all are familiar with what phrase is, what clause is. You got it? Okay. Describe another word, modifier is always placed next to the word it describes. So whenever we use modifier, what we have to keep in mind, that that modifier always comes next to the word it describes. Okay. For example, you can easily understand what do you mean by modifier. I bought a new car. Okay, new, it's a modifier. What am I modifying? Car. So it looks like adjective. Okay, yes. I bought a new car. So that is the new is a word. I bought a car with a tubeless tire. Okay, I'm talking about the car, and instead of using one word, I have used a group of words. Okay, so that is a phrase, but there is no subject in it. Okay, I bought a car. Which car? What kind of car? Car with a tubeless tire. Okay, this is a phrase. Okay, why? Because phrase is a group of words which does not have subject and verb. Okay, yes. The third one, I bought a car. I'm talking about the same car, but I use different modifier. One word, second one phrase, and third one clause. Okay, so I bought a car which has tubeless tire. This is clause. Why? Again, this is a, what should I say, a group of verb. Word which has got subject and verb. Okay, yes. I bought a car which has a tubeless, which has. Okay, which, subject, has, verb. Okay, yes. So this is word, phrase, clause. Did you understand? And the word new, it modifies the car. With a tubeless tire, it modifies the car. Which has a tubeless car? You see these words and phrase and clauses, they modify. So that's why these are called modify. So you see, whenever we have these words, it's very important for you to use this word just next to the word it describes. Okay. Now, if you make some mistake placing this thing, and then we are making one mistake. What is the mistake? Misplaced or dangling modifier. Okay, yes. So let us look at one more example. Modifier is placed next to the word. We serve momo to guests on paper plates. Okay, yes. If you look at this sentence, okay, there is some which is a mistake in putting the modifier. Okay, yes. I told you, whenever we have modifier, you have to put the modifier just next to the word it describe, it talks about. So what is that on paper plates describe? Is it describing we? Is it describing momo, or is it describing the guest? So it is placed next to the guest. So it should be describing the guest. Guest on paper, what does it make? It does not make any sense. Okay, so instead of that, we serve momo on paper plates. Okay, so momo, okay, paper plates. Okay, on paper plate describe the momo. Okay, yes, and two guests. So this is how modifier should be used. Okay, yes. Now I told you there is misplaced modifier and dangling modifier. So let us try to get the meaning of misplaced. By the term itself, you will understand. Okay, modifier, you know. Now, if the modifier is misplaced, okay, it's not placed in a proper order, that mistake is called misplaced modifier. Modifier is a word or phrase that changes or describes another word or a phrase. Modifier is misplaced if it modifies the wrong word or phrase. Okay, for example, I saw two birds on the way to school. You see, on the way to school, that is the modifier. Okay, that is the phrase. Okay, on the way to school. Now, we know that that modifier should always stay next to the word it describes. So, in that way, so on the way should be describing the birds. Why? The birds. The birds are on the way to school. Do you think the birds are going to school? Okay, why? Because according to the rule, on the way modifier always stays next to the word it describes. Okay, I saw two birds on the way to school. But he or she must be saying the other things. So, make some mistake by putting the modifier in the wrong place. It is in a misplaced. Okay, so actually it should be on the way to school. I saw two birds. Okay, yes, on the way to school, that is next to I. Yes. So when I was on the way to school, I saw two birds. So these kind of mistakes, these are called misplaced modifier. I saw two birds on the way to school. Okay, yes. So the two birds on the way. Do you think the birds are going to the school? No. Okay. So this is how we correct. On the way to school, I saw two birds. So you will get the meaning clear. Okay, yes. Now what about the dangling modifier? Dangling means what should I say, dangle. It does not fall. It does not have any work. Okay. Oh, yes. So dangle means to hang or swing loosely because there is nothing for the modifier to describe. Okay. We have the modifier, but the modifier has no word. Okay. The modifier does not find the word to modify. Okay. Yes. Now let us look at the example. Walking slowly, the train was missed. Okay. Yes. So walking slowly. Okay. So that is the modifier. The train was missed. Okay. Yes. Train was missed. Walking slowly, the train was missed. It does not mean walking. Who is walking slowly? Is it the train who is walking slowly or someone else? So there is some confusion. Walking slowly is not used properly. Okay. Yes. So the correct one is walking slowly, I missed the train. Okay. Now it makes sense. Okay. Walking slowly. Now who is walking slowly? I. Okay. Because of that, missed the train. Okay. Yes. So this is the correct one. While watching TV, my dog sat beside me. While watching TV, my dog sat beside me. Okay. Now who is watching? Is it the dog or someone else? Okay. Yes. So this is a mistake. So how do you correct that? Okay. Yes. While I was watching TV. So while I was watching TV, my dog sat beside me. Okay. Yes. Then it makes a complete sense. Not like while watching TV, my dog. Okay, while watching, who is watching TV? Is it my dog or myself? Okay, yes. So you have to use it properly. Okay, while I was watching TV, my dog sat beside me. Now, if you go through all the sentences or all the paragraph writing that you have done so far, I'm sure you will come across some what should I say, errors. Okay, now you just try to be familiar. Okay, now these are the errors that may be. So you should be very careful next time. Okay, yes. So I'm going to stop here. In this session, I talk about the common errors related to run-on sentence, parallelism, sentence fragment, what should I say, modifier, and in modifier I talk about the misplaced modifier and dangling modifier. Now these are the things. So in my next session I will come up with more common errors. Okay, yes. So I'm going to stop here. I see you in the next session, and then we have Ketenjula who's coming up with some more errors. Okay, yes. Thank you.